can you go into the significance of being well capitalized or funded when turning trading into a career? Are there any other factors that do not seem significant at first, but play a big role in making this into a long-term lasting career outside of the typical, technical or mental skills? That's a really good question. Um, Obviously, probably everyone on this call has heard one of the biggest reasons for, you know, failing traders is being undercapitalized. And I think I may have heard some people say that they disagree with that, but I think it's a pretty common problem. So not only like just the actual numbers, right? Like in especially if volatility picks up or something like that, all of a sudden, like your risk of ruin is very high, right? It's just plain and simple numbers game. But then when you combine that with the psychological, the mental aspect of the fact that you are kind of painting yourself into a corner, being undercapitalized, that's a big deal. So yeah, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world for a whole host of reasons like that to either be very well funded yourself or to be backed by a firm that can do that for you. That's one of the big opportunities of joining, a desk. So it's a big deal. Are there factors that don't seem significant? I mean, it's almost like I feel like I could answer this question better maybe on a different day or something. I'm blanking a little bit, but yeah, I mean, most like you know I've been involved with a tryout and a desk for a couple years now, and I see a lot of the, let's call them, initial questions or different things that people have or concerns when they're, let's say, even just considering being a part of even trying out at all. I see what those concerns are and things like that. And I can tell you that most people are very um, short sighted in that regard. In fact, I could tell you from my experience, I've seen traders, even what we would refer to as CPTs, very high performing traders, who get this idea that maybe the grass is greener elsewhere or different things like that. Um, and they kind of lose sight of really just how much help they're getting from a firm or whether that's the capital or the environment or the coaching or whatever. um, we as humans can, just like we do when we're trading, we can lose sight of things and get a little too caught up in some details. That happens to people when they're making career moves in their trading. So being well capitalized is a big deal. Like, I think there's very, very few people who just want to get good at trading and stay a one lot trader. You don't meet a lot of people who say, yeah, that's all I want to do. I want to trade, one lot for the rest of my life. I want to be as good as I can possibly be. And, scaling up and getting huge is not really a priority of mine. You just don't, good for you if that's something that you want to do. But most people want to leverage what they acquire in terms of skill sets into being something more and having, ultimately, I would say that, you know, I can relate to a lot of this, but being a part of something that's bigger than themselves. I think that's a lot of times where people end up. So, anyways, I feel like I could talk a whole lot more about that, but um, It's a great question. It's an interesting topic, and I think that there's a lot of importance to capitalization and whatnot.